It's a very rainy and icy, cold and miserable Sunday, January 18, 2015. Welcome to my On30 railroad. As you can see, we are in the engine facility. The four engines that you see, the two outside engines, if you will, are Bachmann 10-wheelers, and the two in the center are precision craft or precision scale K27 282s. The turntable is an old Wilson HO scale turntable with a metal pit. We'll work our way through the engine facility. The crew shack is a Banta model that was supposed to be a branch line station, but looks so much like the old Revell engine crew shack in HO scale that's what I did. I turned it into a crew shack. Most of the figures here are Woodland Scenics. I think the guy on the bench, the two guys on the benches are Artistra. Work our way to the left here, and you see the Bachmann 2662 in the coaling facility. The square water or rectangular water tank is Evergreen models, and the unfinished Durango coaling towers from rags to riches. Work our way over here, and the engine house is a Banta model that has a completely finished interior, and the interior kit is from rags to riches. And we reach down in here. I can get the lights on the interior, and I will slide the engine that's in here out of here so that you can appreciate more of the interior. Again, it's an arc welder from, I think, Berkshire Valley. Woodland Scenics figures on the inside. The roof, tin roofing, is actually paper from a company that's now out of business called Paper Creek. I keep one or two pieces on hand, so if I need more, I can make them. And I can see I'm about to run out of battery here. Sand house, again, Banta. Atlas O-scale icing platform. Walther's false front buildings. As long as we can, we'll keep swinging around here. We'll start to look at the yard. Walther's O-scale lumber yard, very similar to the Atlas one, now out of production. Two mainline freights, the one in the rear, Bachmann 280 mixed freight, one in the front, Bachmann 280 empty coal drag. There's almost all the freight cars on here are Bachmann. This 3-car pipe load set is just 3 stock Bachmann flat cars. One had a Banta high side gun on it, which I removed the ends, and I cut the pipes so we need idler cars. This flat car here started life as 2 Bachmann flat cars, made it into one big one. Down into the sound area. Wonderful Banta gas station built by my friend Jeff Urso. And here is the Bachmann center cab 45 tonner that has Baldwin Tsunami sound in it. I will cut off here and recharge battery. Now, continuing with our flyover tour before running the trains here on the On30, I'll show you the rest of the railroad. This portal here is basically at the beginning of what we call the spiral grade, which will allow this railroad to climb a total of 12 inches in elevation to go above the industrial shifting area of the HO railroad. So main line climbs out the tunnel, up a grade, into this cut right here. We've added some more trees to this in the last year, as well as now we have a family of bears, and if you look closely, some poor soul has lost their leg and they are partaking of their afternoon meal. The grade continues on around. This next corner we now have finished with that's actually an HO scale Atlas water tank that my buddy Jeff has altered the cribbing so it'll sit against the side of the hill. Main continues on around. Head for the one and only trestle on the railroad, the high trestle. This started life as a Lionel trestle from Grand Central Gems, which by the way is what a lot of my aspen trees and pine trees are. They make wonderful, wonderful trees at a very reasonable price, and I can get pine trees anywhere from 2 inches up to over 12 inches. Here's a piece of the chooch flexible tie wall. I use both that and the stone walls. Great product, my product of the year for 2014. Main line continues to climb, passes on in to the tunnel there. Exiting this side of the tunnel, above and to the right, you can start to see what is going to be called mine number 2 area. Now, the stone retaining wall that you see here is by a company called Knock. It comes in sheets about, I don't know, 11, 12 inches long by a little over 1/4 inches thick. But this stuff is a soft resin and can be cut with an X-Acto knife. It's great to work with. Molds from Woodland Scenics. And literally this is just plaster cloth that came out such a rough shape, so we just painted it to make it look like a rock. Some more of the chooch retaining wall. Continuing our climb, we've now gained a little over 6 inches of elevation, probably closer to 8 inches of elevation. Main line continues to climb and goes into this right-hand portal here. The left-hand portal is on the mine branch. When it exits the other side, the train exits the other side of this tunnel, it will have gained its 12 inches of elevation. Before we continue down the main, I wanted to show you the entrance to the mine branch here. Something I've always wanted all my life is tracks that goes down amongst the trees close in. This has been achieved with this small area right here, and I love it. Here's your main line coming out, and the turnout that you see in front there is the beginning and end of a approximately 22 foot long reverse loop. When we bring the trains up, the train will take this far track, run around through this area here. That'll be a bridge. Now the bridge is part of an elevated track that I have, and all it's going to have on it is a shay with a couple of small log cars, and it's going to run back and forth using a Tam Valley shuttle system. Main line goes down behind this wall that's in front of us, which is all done with the Woodland Scenics risers and inclines. It wanders back and forth. It goes up and down a little bit. Here we come up on another one of those timber retaining walls from Chooch. As you can see, it's not the reddish brown color that it comes in the package. I have stained this with a dark stain. We're going to kind of go backwards around the main line at this point. Some more of the Chooch. We get down into this area, and we're at mine number 1. The other mining area is mine number 2. You know, you may ask, why is mine number 2 the first one on the grade? I said, that's because it didn't exist originally. The mine is again, American Model Builders laser kit. This kit is available in both HO and O scale. And in both scales, the tailings trestle here is available as a separate kit. Main line continues around. Give you a look down the beginnings of the track that's going to have the shay on it eventually. Track's in place and it has been ballasted and weeded up. Track wanders around, comes into what's going to be a town area. The town area and the mine area will be separated by a scenic divider. Wanders around through the town. Now the main line will go off to the right of the water tank to go down behind that shay area. But this is a Y right here. I have a Y in the middle of a reverse loop. Not as hard to wire as you might think. Again, the station is American Model Builders and is in O scale, as is right here in HO scale. Nice kit, a lot of fun to build. The water tank is actually a Banta S scale tank. I checked with Bill Banta and he agreed that the size would be perfect for O scale narrow gauge. My buddy Jeff Urso built that. Back here is a Banta kit for a oil facility that I built. The Y goes back all the way back to the scenic divider and into the tunnel. No, it doesn't. That's another mirror. The original plan was to have the main line circumnavigate the basement, but due to scenery restrictions, etc., it's been decided that we won't. So this is an out and back railroad. And by the way, just to keep everybody happy, if someone does not like my videos, complaint department, take a number. Thank you very much. Now if the train leaves the east end of the yard, it will follow the main around, as you've seen this area before. Okay, come out past the engine facility and go out through that hole in the wall, which was actually an opening for the original HO railroad I had down here. You go to the other side of this wall, you will see that the track comes out of the wall, runs underneath the piping for the hot water heater. Behind a demo track I have, a little switching module in HO scale, is climbing a grade behind the vent pipe for the dryer. We are now up behind the washer and the dryer. Track meanders up, goes up and goes between the wall and the main sewer pipe for the house and heads for the back door of the basement leading up to the backyard. Main line coming up, crosses the door. This is a lift out, 4 screws and then sliding rail joiners, and that bridge is gone. Gets up into this corner where I never really wanted scenery, but my buddy Jeff and my cousin Donnie said we had to have it, so I cleared out everything in front of this area. Jeff's about 5'7" and put rubber matting up there, and he went up and made the mountain. Better man than me. But he did do a nice job, and I do appreciate it. So I can't really complain. The On30 main line continues. We are now actually behind and above the HO main yard, and we come into a big long passing siding, much longer than any potential train we will run on the On30. Comes down here and ends at a bumper, so we use a runaround track. Where we would have continued, we would have taken it across around this corner, through this scenery out to the other side for a continuous run, but it was decided that it wasn't going to be easy to do and didn't really gain much for it. Now from time to time you'll see a little panel that looks like this. This is part of the Tam Valley singlet with decoder. Basically a servo to throw the points on the turnouts and a little decoder, and you make your own plastic mount, and it's already wired, push button and everything. All you gotta do is connect the servo to the track and then the whole thing to the bus. These are set up so that you can actually throw these from the throttle, although I have push buttons that make it so much easier and quicker, so we rarely use the throttle. So again, this is the end of the line. In an op session, the train would come up here, run down to that end, cut the engine off. He would go over onto the tail track, come back down the near track here, past this turnout here, go back and hook up to his train. So because of that, we run either cabooses or coaches or caboose and coach combined to make the run around easier. Then it's tender first, back down the hill, stopping just on the other side of the wall. Engine cuts off, goes in, turns on the turntable, and then continues on its way with its train in normal position. So we're going to get some trains running here. All right, well, we're going to get a train running here. Again, this train will be climbing out of the yard at what we call ground zero, and by the time it tops the grade, we'll have climbed 12 inches. Approximately halfway up the grade now. We'll slow here and we'll stop to take on some water. Actually, we'll take on water at the lower tank. Somewhere in here there'll be a grade crossing one of these days. Again, you can see how I use these plexiglass guards to keep things from tumbling to the concrete floor. In this case, it would be 5 feet below. Engine to the right is a pusher. Normally would be staged down in the engine facility. Try to blow the whistle for blind corners. Up and to the right, you can see the mine number 2 area. Pull up here to the tank and take on water. Trying to do this camera work and work the throttle at the same time is not easy. Now before we continue the rest of the way up the grade to the passing siding, I wanted to show you something. These first three hopper cars here are something that those of us in On30 used to have to do to have hopper cars before Bachmann did their 2-bay. These are actually S-scale hopper cars. And if you look very closely, you can see that it's slightly lower than the On30 to the right. And the On30 is a little bit wider and a little bit shorter, but they scale out so nicely that we use them, and I love them. Now we'll continue our trip up to the end of the line. At this point, the use